FM, The Source.
All right, 8 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in 7th grade. I remember it was my first school that had a guidance counselor. And I remember the guidance counselor wanted to meet all the students, and they were going in alphabetical order. So I'm W, so I was like toward the end of the list. And John Toro was before me. He had a T. So John came back, and I said, what is the person ask? What does this person ask? This, that, and what do you want to be when you grow up? What do I want to be when I grow up? What'd you say, John? I said I want to be an actor. I said, an actor? Yeah, okay, I'm going to be an actor too. Okay. We didn't know what to say. We had no idea what to say, right, in 7th grade. It is interesting how we don't even know what's out there as careers when we're that young. We have no idea. And yet, if we establish it in our minds and we start heading towards it, it could be, I guess, a disappointment when you realize that maybe that's not what you want to be. Or it's interesting how we find our way. Maybe I should just put it that way. John E. Kosakowski is on the phone. I may have mispronounced his name. He is the president and CEO of Junior Achievement USA, and he's got a survey he wants to talk to us about. And I think this is exactly what they did. They asked 13 to 17-year-olds, hey, what do you want to be when you finally enter the workforce? Good morning, John. Thank you for being on. Jack. Good morning, Jack. Thank you for being on with us today.
Good morning. My pleasure. Thank you.
I have a cousin named Jack, and I call him John. I do the same thing with him, so I don't know. So anyway, thank you for being on. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
Actually, Colorado.
All right. So did you know what you wanted to be when you were 13?
I had no clue.
Did you hear the story, by the way, about this 30-year-old that the judge just said you better get out of your parents' house? Did you hear that story?
I was just on another show, and they were telling me about that story, but very interesting.
Yeah, so we need to talk to him, find out what he wants to be when he grows up, right?
Yep.
I mean, in another century, we didn't even live much past 30, let alone have to look for a job at 30. So what did the survey reveal?
Well, it's the second year of this survey that we've done in partnership with our friends at Ernst & Young. And the most significant piece of this survey we saw is a significant drop, 8% drop in boys who are interested in STEM careers. Girls' interest remained unchanged at 11%, but that drop is very concerning.
And remind me what STEM is. Science, I think, is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay. And those are the careers that probably are really good as far as income in today's world, but we're kind of blindsided at that age by football players, by actors, by musicians, right? We kind of get jaded by the famous people in the world.
Well, I think you'll be surprised that what this survey told us is that today's teens are more interested in careers that have altruistic outcomes. They're motivated by helping people more so than earning money or even job security.
Well, that is encouraging, yeah. I wonder what's the shift? What causes the shift?
Well, it's conjecture at this point. We need to dig into that a little bit deeper. But I wouldn't doubt with many of the tragedies that are taking place in the country and, the importance we see in our fire, police, medical professions, that it's driving interest.
But in the even in the fire and the police, STEM does play an important role.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does, and part of it is how the government classifies jobs. The medical careers really don't fall into that classification, even though I totally agree with you. You need a lot of science in order to go into that field.
Do groups like Junior Achievement or the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, do they help a young person formulate a more realistic path for themselves?
Well, what we do in Junior Achievement is we provide the information, but more importantly, we have 250,000 volunteers. Now, these are adults who hold jobs in the community that go in and deliver content, and so they breathe life into careers. One of the problems I see with the way we're getting kids into STEM is we talk about building a rocket or coding, and if kids are interested in helping people, they can't draw a line of sight between that. So, for example, in your career in broadcasting, the average young person has never met a broadcaster, and if you would go in and talk to them about the amount of technology that you deal with, I think they'd be shocked.
Yeah.
And so it's that information that breathes life into those careers.
And do you think that because of the increase in school shootings and then this campaign about mental health, do you think that's swaying some of the children to go into that kind of helping others field?
I think it has certainly raised awareness of the importance of those fields, and certainly with the tremendous tragedies happening with the school shootings, it's really at a level that they can understand and they see and they can relate to.
Does the Junior Achievement website, I guess two questions in one, does it have the survey posted? And does it have tools to maybe help a teacher or a parent help to guide a young person into kind of figuring out what direction they want to go?
Yes, the answer to both is yes, and our website is ja.org or j.org, and there you can see the results of the survey. But more importantly, for both students and parents, we have a site called JA My Way, and that walks kids through how do you choose a career, what are your interests, and get them through. And I'd really encourage parents to go that as well, because 28% of the teens that we surveyed said that the parent is the first person they look to for guidance in choosing a career field.
And how many of us know somebody who is doing what their father used to do? We all know those guys, right?
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of people. Nothing wrong with that either. It's okay. Jack, thank you for the work you do and for taking time out of your day to be with us today. The website you gave us was ja.org. It's simple as that. Is that the best one?
That is the one, yes. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, and come back anytime.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we will take a little break, and we will be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump heads to New York today for a roundtable on gang violence.
The president will travel to Bethpage, Long Island to discuss the administration's efforts to eradicate the violent MS-13 street gang. The president last week called MS-13 gang members animals, a term the president has said is an apt description because of their use of violence.
Fox's John Decker. The president has a campaign fundraising event in Manhattan this evening. Results are in from another round of state primaries.
Atlanta lawyer Stacey Abrams won the Democratic gubernatorial primary in Georgia, giving her the chance to become the first black female governor in history.
We are writing the next chapter of Georgia's future.
A runoff will decide which Republican will take on Abrams this fall.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Texas. Lupe Valdez wins the Democrats' nomination for governor. She's a former Dallas County sheriff and openly gay. Fox News. We